So for the final look at these creative interactive technologies, I'm going to look at the Unity game engine, which would be the one that I use. I've used for the past 4 years. It's one of the most popular game engines that is widely available. There's this one and the Unreal Engine. They've been used to create games that have been published, popular games that have been published on both mobile and console games. This is going to be, we're just going to really skim the surface of what Unity does. It's very involved and a lot of depth to it. So I'm just going to, over the course of these 2 lectures, show you, hopefully make a real simple game so you can see how it works, and then show you how you can use it. You can drag and drop objects in and get a workable game that can be played. So what is Unity? It's a game engine developed by Unity Technologies. A game engine being a software application where it's really where the game comes together. You get all your assets. You get like 3D models, your animations, your audio. This is where you put them all together, and then you add any code to make the objects move, shoot, or anything like that onto the objects. And this is where you create the game. Primarily used to develop video games and simulations for computers, consoles, and mobile devices. It supports 2D and 3D graphics. You can create both 2D games, those being flat games, like you imagine the original Mario Brothers, you know, it's 2D, you can move left and right, you can't move in and out. 3D games would be more games that you can move into the screen as well, like for instance Lara Croft games or the first-person shooters. Drag and drop functionality, you drag your objects into a simulated world in a 3D space, a lot like you would do in Kodu in the last tutorial that we looked at. Scripting through C#. C# is a programming language that Unity uses. So that's how, like, if you create an object, you then tell it what to do, how to react to things. Again, if you look at Kodu's and Scratch, they're all real trainers to get you onto the point where you will have some sort of familiarity with how this works. It's still a whole load to learn, but you would have an idea from using those introductory applications such as those 2. It also comes packed with a load of other features. Unity Ads for controlling, if you want advertising on your game, analytics, so you can analyze who's playing your game, when they're playing it, how long they're playing it for. Cloud build, which means you can send it to compile, which means once you've done everything, you press a button basically, and then it'll compile it into a different language which it'll understand. It can do all that in the cloud rather than you having to sit there and wait for it. Unity IAP, which is in-app purchases. You see that in more or less every mobile game now, where you can play a bit for free and then it'll start charging you for add-ons and things like that. All this can be controlled through Unity. You can set up multiplayers very easily with it. Performance reporting, have a look at how your game's performing, is very important. If you're creating a mobile game, that it runs at the speed it's supposed to run at, that it doesn't have slowdowns. All this can be monitored. And collaborate, so you can have a lot of teams who work together on a project. They can all collaborate on it. One of the big things about Unity is the supported platforms. You develop in the Unity engine, and then you can deploy that to a multitude of platforms there at the press of a button. The engine takes care of converting it into whatever language is native for these devices, such as Android, that's your mobile phones. Facebook, you can go straight into it to create a Facebook game. Gear VR, Google Cardboard, Google Daydream, they will be the 3D headsets, the HTC Vive as well, the virtual reality headsets. iOS, which is Apple phones, iPads. Linux, Mac OS, they're just different operating systems for the Mac and another Windows one. The HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens, which is still in development there, which is the augmented reality thing they're working on. the Nintendos, the Oculus Rift, the VR headset again, PlayStations, all different types of them. You create a web version, one for Wii U, and then Windows and the Xbox One. So you develop one version and then you could deploy it out to each one of these. Obviously, you'd have to change stuff, like for instance, the controls are going to be different on a phone than on a virtual reality headset. So you'd have to create various different versions of it, but the engine would take care of all that. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into this. What I'm going to do this first bit, I can show you how you get it installed, quick look around the interface, and then try to create a game really quick. Here's the requirements for the game I want to create. I'm going to have a player controlling an object, which moves horizontally along the bottom of the screen. Objects fall from the top of the screen towards the player. If an object hits the player, they die. Not much to that. Hopefully it'll show you how it works. Wouldn't expect you to be able to do that, but just if you have an idea of how it works. Okay, so to get Unity, go to unity3d.com. You're presented with this. That's the latest version, 2017.1. You just click on Get Unity here. There are several versions of it. The reason I'm showing this is because it's free. Free for beginners, students, and hobbyists who want to explore. So if you want to have a look at this, just click on that Try Personal. It's free. Here's why it's free. If your company currently makes more than 100,000 in annual gross revenue, you're not permitted to use Personal. You can definitely use it. Just click on that. Click here to confirm, and then download the installer, and it'll install. Once it's installed, run it. It'll ask you to create register a user account, and then it's going to load up. It's going to ask you to start a new project. When it does that, just click OK, and then you'll be presented with the Unity window. So here's the user interface you're going to be faced with in Unity. Rather than go through what everything does on this, this is just an overview. So I'm just going to try and create that basic game there instead. Not expecting you to understand this. It's just a look at what Unity can do. The next video will be more about getting stuff in that you can use yourself. So I'm going to start off. I'm just going to put some objects in. This is the 3D area. If you remember Coda, it's very similar. It's a 3D plane like that. So I'm going to stick in a couple of objects here. I put in a sphere. There it is. You press play, just like Coda had the play button. This has play. It's going to show through that camera. That's what you can see. It's just a little sphere. I'm going to add another object here. I'll add a cube. That's what I'm going to use for this game. Okay, this is telling me what I've got in the scene. I've got a camera, a light. There's my light to light everything up. Sphere and a cube. So at the moment that sphere does nothing. It's just in the scene. There it is. So what I want to do, according to the instructions there, player controls an object. So I want to put some programming on this so that it will understand the keyboard input, just like we do with Coda when you put in that code. But this is using C#, so you're actually scripting. I'm not going to do the scripts, and I'll copy and paste it in. So I'm going to create a script that I'm going to add on to that. Create a C# script, move, give it a name, and then it's going to take me into a little programming window here. I'm going to copy in some script that I've previously written. So what this is actually doing, it's looking for any horizontal keys. Horizontal keys are the arrow keys, and when it does, it's going to move that object based on my keyboard presses. And this on collision, if anything hits the object, destroy it. Okay, so let's give that a go. So I'm going to put this onto that object now. So I'll just put it on it. Okay, so it's on there. This is the attributes of this object. See, this move script that I've just created is now on that. So I'll give it a go. And there you go, it's moving to my arrow keys. Very fast, but it's moving, so that's okay. Okay, next thing is this. If we have a look back at what I was going to do, the objects fall from the top of the screen towards the player. So I'm going to put a bit of gravity on them, so physics, so they're just going to fall down. There we go. And bring that into here. I'll get rid of that. And now I want to write another script to make those fall from the top of the screen and sort of spin around as they fall. So I'm going to create, because at the moment it's doing nothing. You have to tell it what to do. So I shall call this cubes. Into here, here's one I prepared earlier. What is it doing? It's just creating a lot of cubes at random points. See that random there, and putting them on the screen. Okay, there's an error there. Let's have a look. Why is there an error? Okay, here's the error. Here's the joys of programming. It's all about, have you got the right amount of brackets? Have you guys? So I missed a comma there. That's the sort of thing that you'd be debugging and can cause the entire thing to crash. So let's give that a go. Let's see if that works. Okay, yep, everything's fine. So I'm going to put that into the scene there, and then I'm just going to drag that over here. Okay, so those cubes should now fall down. If they hit that object, it's going to kill it. There they are. If they hit it, it's not killing it. So again, debugging here. Let's have a look where we're at, what we're doing. Okay, I'm kind of glad I left these in because it just shows you how fiddly this programming can be. If I go to this script, this needs to be a capital O. So this is the joys of programming. Let's try it now. Press play, and it should kill him when it hits him. So the object is to dodge these. There you go. When it hit, he killed it. So there's a simple game. Shows you programming, debugging. The next one, very much more drag and drop stuff that you can get in and get something pretty good going pretty quickly.